Teaching practices will shift with the appropriate usage of ICT tools for efficiency and the effectiveness. The business practices post-COVID will have a great impact on the higher education. So that means we have been going through the inputs, their implications, inputs provided by the faculty, what implications they are going to face, wherein in the process, how we are being analyzing this system, we come to the output and the outcome, that is the placements in terms of the terminal degrees. There is going to be a changing employment opportunities. Definitely, there is going to be a great pool of jobs in the future with opportunities in the fields of teaching, e-content development, software, hardware developers, and definitely looking into the entire components of the digitization of the world. The career-oriented market demand, when I'm referring to, the basic qualifications in the employability would be defined for the trainers. And definitely the teachers will have to look into this parameter. The industries would be encouraged to participate in laying down their requirements while mapping the syllabus and the course content, because it will become very specific and focused. Thirdly, the e-learning can contribute for the development of entrepreneurship now. This is another major area which was in infancy, will now bloom into a full-grown tree and mature. Vocational courses will gear up the demand, especially for e-learning, and will become more attractive and useful. Lastly, when I'm referring to, from my point of view, this is an endless list, but cutting short onto the major components, e-learning will pave the way for equal opportunities of access of technology to the rural people and will increase the scope of employment in the rural areas. That means whatever we are looking for in the Atmanirbharta of our economies, these things will start showing light and will move forward to it. So my topic to you here is, I've just given you the implications in terms of the future aspects that we will be looking in terms of the teaching, learning and the education. But why we went through this lecture of having positivity is because I'm using the Kubler-Ross model in this teaching learning now. This philosophy says is very commonly used as Dabra. That means the stages become the denial, the anger, bargain, depression, and the acceptance. Now, depending on the different emotional, social, psychological developments of each individual, we'll be handling this situation. First, coming to the denial. That's the first part of it. Now, we have to understand the students, when they'll get back to the college, depending on their aspect is, they will be having a refusal to believe such a thing could have happened or should not have happened. There will be no impact, and the common thing you will be hearing on the campus will be, कुछ नहीं होता, सब ऐसे ही है, classes चलेंगी, social distancing, कुछ नहीं होता. So as faculty members and as the stakeholders, we will have to handle this, the denial of the students, because it is definitely going to have an implications. The second aspect, the students who have come on to grown from this stage, coming into the next level, there is an anger. Now they are getting angry. Anger over the change from physical classroom to virtual. There is a change in the assessment and evaluation mode of online. The loss of normal life due to lockdown. There is so much of concern, and they are looking into कैसे हो सकता है, देखते हैं. And that is why you are seeing so much of response on online platforms of the student unions, not ready to look into it, because they have yet to grow out of this model. They are from the denial, they have just come to the anger level. Now, there will be a certain group of students after this who will come into the bargain inwardly, that they will say, Corona may not, should not have come, exams time pe ho jate. Especially the final year students, what they are saying, हमारा अगले साल का एडमिशन्स कैसे होगा? What about the next level, the concerns? That means in this, if you see the philosophy of this which is applying to the teaching learning model is, ये नहीं होता तो अच्छा होता. That means we are yet to come out of it, and students are in this stage of uncertainty and are not able to handle this. Therefore, these lectures on positivity must be exposed to, you must listen to them, and they'll have a very positive impact, because there's a positivity which takes a look onto it. There are a certain group of people, especially the students, who have now gone into or moving into depression or a social withdrawal because of these lockdowns or so much of uncertainty. What are they doing? These students will drift into mental pressure and depression. That is what Dr. Pooja was rightly saying, that come out of it, listen to music, look into the other ways where you can handle this mental pressure and the situations. And that is where is the fourth level of Dabra, that is the depression and the mental stress. And if you will look into it, the student's mind will say, क्या करें, हम मजबूर हैं, हम बेचारे हैं, we are in a part of the university system. We have to accept whatever the UGC is issuing the guidelines, whatever the university is telling us. We even as faculty give the same thing to the students. क्या करें, university का है issue. See, we all have to move towards this positivity, because we are the ones who are going to facilitate, we are the ones who are having connect with them. Maybe the contact is only onto the virtual platforms, but at least we are in position to give them the positivity. And then comes the acceptance. Now that this corona pandemic is there is a shift in the classrooms. Yes, acceptance has to come in, and let's look into this new normal. जैसा भी है हम करके दिखाएंगे, and that's the positive way of looking at it. Let us accept this as a challenge and look into the new mode of teaching learning and accept the challenge of new normal. And now comes, what can we do? When I'm looking to these components, we must look into these components. We need to also address the other new challenges of the new normal, that is coming in terms of the addictions of the mobiles, the gadgets, the technology, because of its hyper usage. That means I'm getting a message from Asha here that yes ma'am, there was an issue of internet connectivity in the remote areas. That is what we are saying. Yes, these are the challenges which we will have to look into it in coming times, because now this e-learning, e-education, e-pedagogy will be the new normal. So when we are addressing these challenges, other major challenges that are going to emerge parallel to the pedagogical issues would be addiction to the mobiles, the gadgets, the technology. To name a few, there will be anxiety. That means anxiety on receiving or messaging, a fear of social isolation. Anxiety, that means you getting the basic, always a feel or a pseudo ringing sensation. That means you're in a state of delusion or a tactile hallucination where the kids feel that the phone is ringing, but it is not so. Message, there is a beep, but it is not so. And this is now more when I discussed and went to a hospital wherein a child neurologist and a psychologist from AIMS, whose fellowship from there, I discussed with Dr. Kamir Singh. He said, yes, this prevalence is coming up. So I give my acknowledgement to these addictions onto this fellow, onto Dr. Kamir Singh, wherein this is, the cases are coming more in the OPDs of the hospitals, and this will further aggravate, wherein this social distancing will have implications on the children's social and the developmental milestones as a normal child, because they'll be restricted to play, there'll be restrictions on their physical interaction, They will not be able to deal with the conflict management. All these whole lot of things will be there as stated by the Dr. Kamir Singh. It is not only this. When I'm further, other challenges which we as faculty members will have to address will be the communication faking. Now also, when we are teaching in the classroom, a student says, "Madam, there is an urgent call. My parents are calling, there is some issue in the family," and they pretend to be addressing that call. This will further increase onto these virtual classrooms. In fact, those who will be introvert may fake this communication, calling or messaging, and avoid the true communication. There will be a whole lot of behavioral issues that will start coming up, and there will be a shift because of the shift from the physical classroom to the virtual platform. And as a case when the faculty members have been addressing, they did bring out, the students put a post, and this definitely led to psychological bullying at the faculty level. Even in the class, what happens that yes, students, those who are serious minded because they are the advanced learners, like I said in the beginning, there could be the winners, there could be laggards. The laggards, they try to disturb this platform maybe by posting something. So this psychological bullying at different stakeholder levels, we will have to deal with it and emerge out of it. What about the language, the communication part of it? That also will have to be addressed too. So now, with so many challenges, so many concerns, what we need to do? And when I'm representing this, what can we do? First of all, as faculty members, we must focus on the students and support to the faculty, giving them complete exposure using the social media, the online forums, etc. In the physical classroom, syllabus, the teaching learning, which was just posting it onto the online mode by using the tools, will have to revisit by the authorities, look into the learning to the remote level and the self-directed learning. We as stakeholders will have to address the heterogeneity in the intellectual evolution by ensuring access and equity, by adopting and developing the learning management systems which will address this. The structure for the feedback on remote teaching. See, feedback is not only taken as a negative way of understanding a process. It always helps us to look into the forward way of looking at things, because the feedback once shared with the stakeholder helps the stakeholder evolve and take care of those issues which have been referred to, so that when the next level of this teaching learning comes in, you are able to take care of it. We must ensure the continuity of the pedagogy online. See, even if we are returning to the physical classrooms, maintaining the social distancing, but still we will have to ensure the continuity of pedagogy using these tools. And at the stakeholder, when I come to the management and control, yes, the security issues pertaining to the online platforms, we will have to take care of that. That is, the cyber security issues will have to be addressed too. And finally, when I'm representing, see, teaching learning, when I'm representing, it's the industry and the parents who are also interested in it. So we must involve the stakeholders with empathy, especially the parents. So with this, we as a teaching learning, yes, Corona is there. We accept it. This is going to be the new components, and we take it as a new normal. We'll deal with it in a positive way. We will adapt to the new pedagogical approaches using the technology and emerge the winners. Thank you so much for having me on to this session. Jai Hind. I'm having so many feedback from my viewers here. I thank each one of you for giving me a response and sharing your viewpoints. I thank Pooja Dabbas, Asha, Kanika Sharma, Sumita, and the list goes on. But yes, we are all there and we all will emerge as winners. I also thank the organizing committee for organizing this webinar and taking this initiative, and we live to the milestones and the very vision and mission of Maharaja Surajmal Institute, taking and inspiring, going to the greater heights. Thank you once again.